Hey everybody, this is John Padilla with JP Total Fitness. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out all the other videos on the JP Total Fitness channel. I'm here in Dolphin Fitness in the Bay Ridge part of Brooklyn, New York. And for this video, I'm going to show you a great two-part routine for your glutes. The glutes, or the muscles of your butt, as they're commonly known, come in three different layers. You have the glute minimus and the glute medius, which control the hip abduction, or that's when you move your leg out to the side, and the glute maximus, which is the rounder part, the big part that everybody wants to work on, which controls hip extension, which is when you move your leg back. Now, there is some room for concern with working the glutes because a lot of people will focus on the maximus and neglect the other two. You want to do it for two reasons. The first is the aesthetic reason, so that way it gives you a more tighter, balanced look to your butt. But secondly, you want to create that balance for your hips. You want your hips to be strong, especially if you're doing a lot of side-to-side movements. Also, if you're a woman and you're more prone to osteoporosis when you get older, you want to be able to strengthen up that joint and avoid injury later on down the line. For the first part of the routine, we're going to be doing a superset. The first move, we're going to be firing up the glute minimus and medius, so that way we get those muscles going with a side leg circle going clockwise and counterclockwise. The second move is going to be sidestep sumo squats, so that way we start getting the maximus involved and we get the whole butt moving. So for the purposes of today's video, I'm going to have some help. I'd like you to meet Karolina.
Hi, Jay.
Hey.
Hi.
Karolina is a longtime client of mine. We have become friends, and I also consider her a colleague. She's recently become a nutritional coach. She's a bikini competitor and on her way also to becoming a trainer as well. And I have seen firsthand how she has transformed her glutes from being cute to actually being quite a pair that's stage ready. She's really worked hard on them. So she's going to be showing the moves today. So the first move is going to be these side leg circles. Now what you can do is I prefer to have somebody lean on the surface, so that way it keeps the torso straight up, because if you tend to lean, you'll cheat. So if you keep your shoulders straight, you'll get the maximum squeeze out of your glute minimus and medius. So she's going to have the leg up. She's going to keep her stable leg is going to be slightly bent, and she's going to imagine she's drawing a perfect circle with the heel. Because if you imagine doing it with the heel, that's going to make your hips extend back, and you get the squeeze right in the glute maximus as well, even though you're still hitting the two smaller muscles. So she's going to go 8 back and then 8 forward, which will be 16 reps. That way you get a nice full range of motion going both ways. So she's still going to keep the shoulders up. Good. And then when she's done with that side, we're going to switch. Let's switch sides. So also, just keep in mind with any move, okay, especially when you're standing, you want to keep the abs tight. That way you're always working that core, keeping it strong. And she's going to imagine she's doing the perfect circle. Just straighten the arm out just a little more. Good. So whenever you're doing this, you can always just lean on a wall, use a pole. If you're in the gym, you could lean against the Smith machine or the power rack. All right, that was, how many was that?
8.
That was 8 on both sides. Okay. For the second part of the superset, I'm going to have Karolina doing sidestep sumo squats. So she's got her dumbbell ready. She's holding it with a goblet grip. She's got the hips turned outward so that the toes are at about 10 to 15 degrees out, so we get the maximum glute activation. And since it is a squat, she's going to be mindful that her toes and knees are going to face the same direction as her knees bend. So here we go. She's going to take the step out, and she's going to drop the hips right down. So as she comes down, she's going to make sure she sticks the butt out so she gets that hip extension for the maximus to work. But with the side-to-side leg motion, the minimus and the medius are still working. So you get all 3 layers of your butt working. So I would recommend somewhere between 16 to 20 reps, so that way you're getting about 8 to 10 reps on each side to get both the minimus and medius working on each side. Now how many was that?
16.
That was 16. Okay, you can drop it down. All right, how's your butt feeling? Burning up?
Yes.
Good, okay. Let's move on to the second part. For the second part of the routine, this is a hybrid move where we're going to be incorporating a Brazilian lunge with a step up. This is really going to fire up the glute maximus now with 2 different moves. Now the Brazilian lunge is like a reverse lunge with the exception that when you step back, so Karolina, can you just show me the Brazilian lunge real quick? When you step back, that leg stays straight. So that way you are utilizing the hamstring and the glute on the bent leg without emphasizing the quadricep, okay? So she's going to be doing the Brazilian lunge, and when she comes up, the push is going to be similar to a straight leg deadlift. When she comes up, she's going to push with the hip, and then she's going to step right up. Good. And then right back down. That'll be rep 1. So we're going to go for 8 reps. Now when she's going down into the Brazilian lunge, she's keeping her weight on the heel, because the weight on the heel is going to make you push more from the glute. Then once again, when she steps up, she's going to be stepping with the heel on the bench. You want your stepper or your bench to give you at least 90 degrees of flexion at the hip, so that way you're getting your glute maximus to open up and really contract on top. And so with this move, you hit the glute on one side with the lunge, and then you hit the glute on the other side with the step up. Then when you switch sides, you really get them fired up. How's it feeling?
Feels very good.
Yes, I know. She's loving it. Oh, it's okay. So another thing to keep in mind is that when you incorporate both moves, you get some work with the quadricep in, but you don't tire them out because you're actually looking to fatigue the glute maximus more. How many reps was that?
That's 4.
Sorry, I'm doing all this talking and I'm not even counting. But this is also a great move where you can also use that hamstring on the lunge part of it. So you get a lot more leg work in, pretty much from your waist down to your knees. You're hitting everything. Good. Push with the heel and good. Awesome. She did a great job. She's got a great pair of glutes to prove it too. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the JP Total Fitness channel. Check out all the other videos. And you can also check me out at jptotalfitness.com.